Again.
Let's do it.
This is the first. This is the second Q&A with Alex Rashevsky, First Officer, Star Crusade, here on Saturday, February 13th. It is 10 minutes after 11 a.m. This is the second of hopefully many. We're going to talk today about everything that's been going on since last time. Alex said, we have some screenshots of upcoming art and media. Alex has some talking points he wants to address. I have a few talking points I want to address. The stream is going to be in English language only. Chat is not on screen, but you may ask your questions in Russian if you must. I will not understand you, but Alex will. So I guess the format that I'm partial to is that Alex and I will talk between ourselves for a bit, and then maybe in the second hour we'll open it up to questions. If that's agreeable to you, sir?
That sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Excellent. So, let's talk about what's been going on since we last convened, which you mentioned there were some bugs introduced in a patch.
Yep. So we introduced some bugs while we fixed a bunch of other stuff, and we fixed those right now. So it's been smoother lately, and we've been working more on modules and a bunch of other stuff in the background, and some of that I want to talk with you guys today.
So modules are the customizable hero powers that we talked a little bit about last time.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a couple of screens. You can show the gameplay screen for the modules, and also how they actually look like in your deck in your collection. And also, Chess, you got the Skype frozen on top right corner of, I guess, my Skype. You can move it to the side.
Should be gone. It was just that was just the system freezing it there. It's not really there. That was a ghost. That was a ghost.
Next, can you show us the modules?
Well, are you talking about the in-game or the or are you talking about this? Are you talking about this art here?
The actual module, like the way that the modules are going to look, and also the gameplay screen.
Okay, so I think
that's the main gameplay screen that you just brought up. So we've tweaked it a little bit, and then these are the actual modules. So this is how they're going to look like. They might be a little bit tweaked, but this is basically what they're going to look like in your collection. So you're going to get, there's some active ones, some passive ones. They could have supply cost, they could have energy cost, and they can be conditional also. And they also will have rarity, just like cards, and they will come out of boosters the same exact way. And there's going to be quite a few of them.
So these modules here, these have the same art. Is that why is?
Yeah, this is just a sample.
Okay, but these are two different module frames.
Yeah, exactly. So one is active and one is passive. So one requires you to actually turn it on. The other one will activate if the conditions are met, or if it's just an always on ability.
So what is the little square, the hex in the corner? What does that mean?
Energy. That's energy requirement.
And the other one costs 2 supply, like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're going to have variable supply costs. Some will have 2, some will have 1, some might even have 0. They just need to be activated. And then that one on the right is the energy. So it will take X number of energy.
And so we're going to be opening these in packs. Like, what does this mean for someone, not to be selfish, but what does this mean for someone like me who's already opened as many packs as they might want to open? Is there going to be a new side booster? Or are we going to have to continue opening the classic Star Crusade pack?
So we thought about it. We thought about making like a guaranteed module per booster, or maybe making a separate booster that you can buy that's going to have a guaranteed module. But the way it will break down anyway, because of the number of cards in the collection, is you will almost always get a module in a booster anyway.
So how many cards are there now? I think 300.
We have like 320
And
maybe.
how many cards are being introduced with this patch?
So let me open up. So we're adding more and more. I don't know how many are actually going to make it in the release, but it will probably be at least 40, um, 40 to 50 modules. I'm hoping. Well, let's say 40 at least, and then there's going to be a bunch of new units and tactics. So 3, 18, like 30 more cards. So it's about 70 new cards. 40 to 50 of them being modules.
And these are just being introduced to the existing classic pack.
Yes, and that kind of brings us to the other point, which is there's no way we're going to be able to test this internally as much as we want to. So I'm going to, in advance, just warn everybody that it's going to be some good times when the modules first hit, because as we open more and more of them, as people open, as the users open more and more of these, the variations are going to get out of all control. So. So I'm hoping
Absolutely.
we're going to see some imaginative, innovative stuff. Um, that's another thing that I want to talk to you about is like meta, and what is actually happening with it. And
Absolutely. I want to talk about that too. It's really interesting to see in season 3 that there's still things emerging that weren't present really in the meta earlier on.
right,
Some of
so
that is due to people having more cards, of course.
yeah, players still haven't opened a large portion of the cards, and it's kind of strange to me a little bit. But maybe I maybe underestimated kind of the way that the players approach this. Is that it's pretty inflexible. Like even though the meta does change, I expect it to change a lot more. Like for instance, I still think we have dozens and dozens of new strategies that have not been tried, and people are just sort of like, well, Consortium STC Rush, that's what I'm gonna do, even though that wasn't there last season. But I think there's 10 other things that we could be doing with 50 other cards that haven't even been unlocked by most of the players, and I'm surprised that it's not happening.
Well, Consortium Rush has been there. It's just uh, this season, in season 3, I mean, the question is, are we going to change topics to this? I don't mind having a free-form conversation. I just don't want us to miss anything.
Right. Well,
Um,
for modules, basically, that's all there is to say right now. I've shared a bunch of them um, in the past couple streams, and they're coming pretty soon. So I don't know that I want to really talk more about the modules. If folks have
well,
questions,
when do you expect them to come out?
well, they're supposed to be out in a week, but the bugs caught us by surprise, so that basically everything got shifted. So we're now trying to get it done basically this month. That's the attempt, is to get them all rolled out bug free this month, because I don't really want to do any more of these updates where we break stuff. So things are going to go a little bit slower in terms of the final testing and release of the actual updates.
I think it's very funny that chat is observing that your English accent is perfect. I don't think. Do you guys understand that Alex lives in California? Do you guys? I mean,
They do. I think.
that he like went to university in California. That he's like American. Like, do you understand that?
I think they do. I think they do, Chess. Uh,
Uh, all right. Well, I think the what's going on in the meta is a pretty big conversation. Really, I think there's a lot to be said. And even though this isn't Q&A time, if you hear us say something we think is going on in the meta in our discussion, please pipe up and tell us what you think's going on in the meta, because we have limited view. Alex has the overview. I have my own view of what I've come across, and I played quite a lot this season 3. So, what appears to be going on, Alex? You there?
I'm
From
the,
from your perspective,
hmm
analytically, hi Julia. What appears to be going on in the meta as far as when you look at what people are doing?
So the issue that I have this is like a long running issue for me, is that most cards, or at least half the cards, are not open, and for some reason, first of all, whatever is getting the rank 1 folks to rank 1 seems to be enough. They don't need any more cards, and I hear a lot of, this is OP, that's OP, this is too strong, this is too weak, but yet half the cards are not even opened. So I'm not sure if that's fair.
And you're talking about this on a per account basis. Somebody gets to Imperator, you go, I wonder how many cards they have. You look and they don't.
I know how many cards everybody has, and I'm telling you, it's like what's you have what, 95% at this point?
Those achievements don't work, but I do have basically every rare and epic, and I would say I have 75% of the Paragons.
So you're on the tail end, and even you still don't have some cards.
Yeah, but I also am sitting on 600 or 700 scrap. I mean, I'm very close to a complete collection of Star Crusade cards, which to me, it's if I'm gonna be a top streamer of a game. Okay, all right. Let's not like. This isn't chat. This isn't a time to just start sharing opinions. But I just meant if you hear us saying things that need correcting, there will be a time for us to respond to chat later. Yeah, but I do have nearly a complete collection. I figure if I'm gonna put myself out there, I want people to watch. I should be able to build any deck that seems strong.
That makes sense. But most players, so I have like some analytics, but basically, most players have maybe 5% of all the Paragons, which is understandable. It takes a while to build it, but
well, I mean, 5%. There's what, 20 Paragons. 5% is one.
No, I think we have probably closer to 30.
Okay, so they have 1.5 or 2 Paragons.
Exactly. Like two Paragons, maybe 3 Paragons on average.
Okay, well, they're very hard to get. My experience is the drop rate on them in packs is lower than in other games I've opened packs in. That may be an illusion, but it feels low.
Well, the thing is, people are melting them down, is the thing, when they get them. And so today, one of the things that I want to talk about later, if we got the time, is specifically Paragons, underutilized Paragons that actually have a higher win rate, but a lower usage, and people are melting these and not using them. So I wanted to talk about them. And then I also wanted to talk about a few of them that are actually underperforming. They're actually weaker cards that I want to boost. And so I want to discuss that. But my main issue is that what can I do, what can we do in order to encourage creativity with deck building? Because I refuse to accept the fact that like these are the best decks that we can have and nothing new can happen and the meta is frozen and that's it.
I don't believe the meta is frozen. I'll tell you, like, my experience this season was at the end of season 2, the night season 2 ended, I started looking through the collection. I'd been playing Hazard-Gog, and I was just learning about the Bloodsworn Berserker effect and this blast back. For some reason, my bitrate is fluctuating right now. My connection to Twitch isn't so good, everybody. If the stream is lagging, I can't do anything about it. But I was looking through the collection, and I was interested in playing with this Bloodsworn Berserker effect, and I noticed this card that I had never gotten out of a pack, that was not in my collection, it was uncrafted, and I'd never seen anyone play it. And it was the Vengeful Outcast.
Right.
And I'd never seen it in the game ever. And I'd been playing for 2 months. And I looked at the Vengeful Outcast, and I thought, I'm making the Vengeful Outcast deck. I'm gonna play this is my thing right now. I'm gonna create this. And it was really satisfying. I built a really great deck that I was able to play all the way up to high rank. It's still a winning deck. It's a winning deck against everything except there are 2 counters for it, which I think are present in the meta. But, I don't know how many of those situations are left undiscovered. in the set, that cards that people are just like discovering for themselves. And I don't know how you encourage people to buy packs.
Well, that's that's also a fine line because we don't want to go too heavy on the old pay to win um, commentators. Basically, we want to kind of thread that needle. We obviously need to encourage buying packs, but we need to do it in a way where it's still fair for the free to play players, which I think we've done. I think we've, in fact, hopefully you agree that we've done a pretty good job with that. We've got plenty of free to play.
I agree, but I'm not a free to play player.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have a perspective on that, and neither am I technically. But
Well, but also, I mean, this concept of pay to win has been around. It is as old as Magic the Gathering, right?
right, exactly.
And there's no question that Magic the Gathering is a pay to win game. Okay, like from its inception in 1991,
Right.
the only time it wasn't pay to win is when there was one set of cards, like
Yeah,
the original box of Magic the Gathering. As soon as they
Right
started
here.
doing boosters, it became a pay to win game.
Right.
And I don't think you can necessarily separate a CCG from pay to win. I think it's a misnomer, and I think it's dangerous territory for a developer to try to pander to this. I think for customers to complain that a CCG is pay to win means they want it for free, is what they're really saying. There's always going to be people like me who have all the cards, and people who don't have all the cards, and I am somebody who would rather spend dollars than spend hours to acquire in-game materials. But I don't think there's any way to expand a CCG over time that does not result in a pay-to-win meta. What
Yeah.
you ultimately do is what Blizzard's got to do now, which is reduce the available cards in the competitive pool. But even then, people still have to buy in. You still have to ante up something. I know the stream's a bit laggy. It should be stabilizing right now. I'm sorry, you guys. It's my connection to Twitch. That's. But, I mean, how are you addressing that schism internally?
We've got a lot of stuff planned on that. So in general, we've been very fair with the free to play folks. We want to make sure that they're having a good time. They can get through the game by putting in time as opposed to money. And also, we will be introducing a subscription model, which is kind of new for CCG. And I want to maybe hear your thoughts on this. It's going to be a monthly subscription, which will give you access to a booster each day. That a booster each day, and maybe a raid entrance each day, or maybe some other perks. But the point is that it would accumulate every day, and you would have to come in at least once a week to just clear out the stash to get all the stuff. And the subscription would renew every month. And the subscription would be, so you'd be paying less than if you were just to buy boosters, but of course you'd be paying more than nothing if you were just putting in time. So it's like a middle of the road option for folks who don't have quite as much money to spend, but also don't have as much time to spend. So what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's fair. It's incredibly similar to simply offering a discount on boosters, but you're requiring a commitment. I mean, I would say that I would ask, well, why not just make your bulk discounts deeper? Why? I mean, I'd say you guys are pretty generous. I'd say 50 packs for $45 is, in the CCG arena, very reasonable. But I mean, that is ultimately a discount that you're offering. You're just saying we want a revenue stream associated with that discount, right?
Well, you see the part of it. There's obviously a discount, but the other part of it is that you don't get the cards now, right? So if you want to get the cards now, you're still going to have to buy the boosters. But if you're okay with waiting and coming into the game frequently and spending more time than maybe a paid player, but less time than a free-to-play grind player, then that's the option for you. Because it's not only, yes, it's less money, but it's more time. You have to come back to the game, and you get the cards over the month. You actually get them every day. You don't get them right away. So, it's not quite like a discount. Because if we were offered a discount, you would just get the cards. You're still done. You have the majority of the collection, and you're good. But this way, it's sort of like discount for an extra commitment, and waiting a little bit more, kind of like that.
Well, I could see. I don't think there's anything inherently bad about that idea. It's not for me. I'm not that type of consumer, but depending on what the value per pack is in that. I mean, if we're saying it's $15 and you get, if it's $10 or $15 a month, and you're going to get 30 packs over the course of the month in exchange for this delayed gratification, well, that's a very good price for people who are willing to wait.
Yep. So that's one of the things that we're gonna probably put in, in March. At some point in March, we wanna get that in. We wanna pilot it and see how it goes. Hopefully, people like it. The whole point is to give more content away to the users that want it in kind of flexible ways, because not everyone can afford to buy the packs and spend time playing.
So you seem concerned about what effect it's having on the meta that people aren't opening as many packs as you would have expected.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Because I feel, well, there's that part of it, and there's the part that random guy Rosemarine said, where I'm good with 50% of the collection. So in other words, maybe the rest of the cards are perceived to be poor value. But what I'm seeing is that they're actually not even being open. So I want to see putting them.
What are some okay, I think the epics in most games and particularly in your design of Star Crusade, the epics are the deck defining cards. So what are the underplayed epics? I can tell you Vengeful Outcast is one of them. I'm the only person I've ever seen playing that card, and I love it. When you get a vengeance, when it gets raised up to like a 22, 23, and it's coming, and the opponent is thinking, how did I let this happen? That's just brilliant. I love it.
Exactly.
What are underplayed epics right now that you would think would be deck defining?
I prepared a list of paragons because I want to go top down. So if you've got a moment, maybe you can open up your deck builder and show us some paragons that we can talk about. I know which ones are underused and which ones are basically.
Sure, I can do that, but I think paragons are priced somewhat high in scrap, and they're the paragons that could be deck defining are one ofs. That's why I think like epics are more deck defining. But if you'd prefer to talk about the paragons first, let's do that.
We could go down. So basically, we could do heroic next chat, maybe heroics and epics, and elites. But there's just more of them, so it would take a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on my part, so that I can give you actual data. But for now, I have the
yeah, I was just curious, like, if there were specific epics that you had on the top of your head that you don't see getting even opened. But we can start with Paragon. Sure, I got plenty of time. Let's do it.
All right, excellent. So here are a few that are, let's just start with undervalued but powerful. So start from Nyx Devourer. Nyx.
I don't even know that card.
See, that's not great.
Oh, I probably have to go into fusion mode, that's why.
Yeah, go into fusion mode. I think it's like a 2 cost. Or do a search for just Paragon. Just type in Paragon.
Oh, that works?
Yep. Except Yeah, and then I think there it's a neutral. There it is. I think maybe it's Aragon.
I'm not seeing Nyx Devour. Soul Devour?
That's it, Soul Devour, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
I play this card.
Okay, so bring it up on the screen, maybe maximize it. So you play it, but the data shows that it should be played a lot because it's a low cost. It's a low cost and powerful, and especially like for rush decks and for stuff like that.
Well, it has an occupational hazard, which is if you put it on the board against Hazard or Shanti, they're going to remove it before it ever gets to grow.
Right.
So it's a built-in drawback to Soul Devour. If you don't have a screen to hide it behind, or you must play Soul Devourer on a turn you're making kills.
Exactly. But there's plenty of kills. I mean, in Star Crusade, we've got a lot of battle going on the board. And so there's plenty of kills happening. I see plenty of kills in most games. And also it happens to be a mercenary. God forbid I just boosted the Consortium Rush deck.
This is in my Consortium Rush deck. I play it. The problem is a lot of people playing Consortium Rush don't trade.
Right. True. Good point. But it doesn't have to be in Consortium. It doesn't have to be. Doesn't necessarily even have to be in a rush deck. I mean, it could be in just you can drop it in the middle of the.
I think this is good in every deck. This is good in firepower. This is good in mid range. Rosemarine says it's crap because it can be nullified.
Right.
But everything can be nullified. That's not an argument, really, Rosemarine. Like, any good card can be nullified. The Nullify is a fun killer.
Yeah, Nullify, we're thinking about what to do. I think we talked about this a little bit, where we might nullify just one ability as opposed to nullify everything. But for this card, that's the only ability it has. So, in this example, it would actually be a moot point. But in any way, I'd love to see how we could use this card to better effect.
So are you saying people don't have this card in the numbers you would expect?
They have it, but they don't
play
use it. Yeah, they don't use it, or they melt it. They melt it down, and it's
wow.
So it clearly is when you have this card. Let's put it this way: we have data, which, I mean, this is not like a definitive guarantee that you will win, but we basically know once you put in a particular card what happens to your odds of winning the game. And so based on that, I can tell you that's
You're saying Soul Devour is a winner.
Soul Devour is a winner. Now, we're also very careful with this stuff, so we don't have anything that will really push the envelope. We don't have any card that you can just add to the deck and like add 20% to your chances of winning. That's not going to happen.
That's silly, yeah.
But I am saying that it is a powerful card. It's a one cost, so it should be played more, and it's just not.
Okay, what other undervalued winners do we have?
So we've got the Vendetta Cruiser. I know that's not really underplayed for you, but you can go put it on.
Another Vendetta Battleship is a card in my repertoire.
Yep, in your firepower.
This is one of the best finishers in the game.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, it doesn't. First of all, it doesn't only have to be a finisher. It's got insane health, so it's actually quite survivable. And yeah, we see it in the deck that like you play, for example. Like you've got it as a finisher. God forbid, you make it to turn 10 with this thing in your hand.
Well, I would say if this gets nullified, it's a 5/10 for 8, which is bad.
Right. It's bad as an offensive unit, but it's still good in defense, and its stats are pretty close to neutral. 5/10, 15 for 8.
Yeah, it's close, but
late game, not quite. Yeah, late game.
And the only faction that has a way to make this a screen is Consortium, and you wouldn't play this in Consortium. Right. Oh, I guess Terrans could make this a screen with
Stronghold.
Oh, Stronghold too. I didn't think of. Okay, so there's some options there, but I mean,
Actually, in fact, since I mentioned Stronghold, can you bring up Stronghold?
of course, I love Stronghold.
So Stronghold, speaking of heroic cards that don't get much use, this card is basically, yeah, it's just such with Terran. If you put a couple units on the board, I mean, if they don't, if your opponent doesn't have removal, it's pretty much over. Stronghold.
Stronghold is terrific. My issue with Stronghold is that uh, you it's basically at least in a 25 card deck, you can only play a one of because it has the potential to be a dead draw.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
Stronghold absolutely depends that you have board presence. So you never want Stronghold in your hand and nothing else. But this is an amazing card. This has a great effect.
And also the modules, like some of the modules for Terrans will be to play a unit, to deploy a unit. So we're going to give you more abilities to synergize with this. And also with Stronghold, placement is very, very important. How you place your cards on the field. You don't want to be dropping, like you want to maybe have your offensive units like far, far on the left, or you can deploy a couple of guardsmen and then drop something on the right, to the right of it, so that the opponent has to clear out the guardsmen before they get to your powerful units.
So what you're saying, Vendetta Battleship is
Yeah,
getting melted down. People own
Vendetta.
this and aren't playing it.
Yeah, Vendetta is gives you a higher chance. I mean, it buffs your pretty much any deck. Meaning it makes you gives you stronger odds to win, but it's not getting played as much as we would expect. It's much less. Like the Carbonic Protector, you could probably guess is the number one uh, crafted and used Paragon in the game.
Which once again, one nullify and it's a brick.
Yeah, yeah. So, and you remember how scary the Carbonic Protector was when the game first came out?
Yes.
People just didn't know what to do with it. It was, but now people understand, you got to carry some nullifieds, some destroy unit, or some maybe um, a way to destroy massive units or something like that. So it's getting, but it is still the number one paragon. I guess that makes sense.
Oh, you just said something. Not to change the subject, but why is Viking Destroyer not a massive?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I get that all the time. I'm on the fence about that, um, specifically because of the reason that you think. Like it's the only big card that is not a massive. So I don't remember why we did it like that, to be honest with you. But I don't know how I feel about it yet.
I just feel like if you've got a Fenfire in your hand, somebody plays a Viking Destroyer and you can't Fenfire it, you're like, what's going on with this game? Like, that thing is massive.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I've felt that many times, but I I I need some more time to think about that.
He needs time, folks.
Need time. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the Fenfire, could you bring up the Fenfire? Because it's the thing is, our names are Russian and English localization. Names are a little bit different, which I've got to touch that up, but we just haven't had a chance to do that. And so a lot of the folks in here don't know what we're talking about. Sometimes I don't know because I have to remember both names, and I sometimes can't. So Fenfire, this guy, he's got an explosive personality. If you remember, I've got an explosive personality. This guy. So this, I would expect this crafted all the time. I would expect everybody to always have this in their deck.
Oh, no, no.
I mean, you sorry, not for rush decks, but I mean for any kind of mid-range or control decks. Everybody plays massive cards. Everybody
I
does.
would say there's only room for a Fenfire in a 40 card deck.
Really? Well,
I would say nobody would put this in a deck smaller than 40 cards. If you guys listening think I'm wrong, tell me. I mean, I'm not the expert on this game, but from what I've seen and in my deck building, the only time I put in Fenfire is in a 40 card deck.
um, so that's one of the things is that accurate or not? Because if it's not, then that could change the game up. But people are not quite willing to try it. Um,
What does chat think? What's chat's opinion? Funny Lear says only on 40 card deck. Anyone else? Does anyone put Fenfire in a deck smaller than 40 cards?
I know Julia puts it in her deck. Yeah, it's very powerful. It is. Four.
It's very powerful, but if your opponent doesn't play a massive timely enough, you have a 4-costed 2/2 in your hand that does nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I I want to see it used more. I can't really do much with it. We can't really make it 3. We can't. 3 cost is just as outrageous, and I don't changing its stats won't change much. I can't really go beyond like 3/2 or 2/3, and even that I think is a stretch because it's just incredibly powerful.
But you would expect Fenfire to be a big winner, and he's not. People aren't using him.
I mean, he's okay, but I would expect him to be, a carbonic protector, basically counter, and also counter to almost every big threat in the game.
Except that Viking Destroyer is the most commonly used big threat in the game, and Fenfire does not counter it.
And that's kind of why, I'm on the fence about it, because I think his ability is already incredibly powerful. I want us to be a little careful with these type of things.
Yeah, but it's a one trick pony, and you can only have one Fenfire. If you use it on Viking Destroyer, you're not going to have it for the Gatekeeper, and I think that should be the player's choice. True. I think Viking Destroyer being massive is the right move, personally, because it's too big statistically. It has 13 points of stats. That's huge in this game. That's a very large creature. Primarch is a massive and only has 12 points of stats.
Right. What can you bring up the Destroyer? Is it a 5/8?
Yes, it's a 5/8.
Monstrosity. Let's see it.
This is the card I'm saying should be massive and is not. Where is it? What's going on? Oh, the search didn't clear.
It's somewhere here at 5, right? Is it 5 or 6 cost?
What's going on with my
Oh, yeah, Rosemarine, good point about Shanti and Consortium not using massive units. So that's going to be updated because, let's face it, an Abomination is a massive unit. So we're going to add double. You got to turn off fusion mode maybe because you're not showing basically everything that can be shown.
Oh, no, I need to turn on undispersibles. That's why.
That's it. So we're going to add double types. So you're going to have an aberration that is also massive. Final.
Okay, that's good. I was wondering about that too. Yeah, here's the Viking Destroyer. The only card this size that is not massive. If you look, everything above this, even below this, the Landcrawler and Ravager are massive, and they have way less stats. The Landcrawler has 8 points of stats and is a massive. And the Varaxian Gunboat has 9 points of stats and is a massive. And here's this Viking Destroyer, 13 stats, and is not a massive. Are you kidding me?
Well, Chess, it's not the stats. It's the size of the thing, thematically. You see, it's the thematics that are very important here. So the Viking...
Wait, are you talking... There's no scale. You don't know if the Viking Destroyer is bigger than the Varaxian Gunboat. There's no guide by which we're supposed to tell this. That's silly.
All right, I'm leaning toward making that change. What's the other? What's the 5? Is it a Corvette that's 5.56?
5.6. I don't think Corvette needs to be massive.
No, it's not. It's not, right? Can we check?
It is.
5.6. So that's it. So then maybe we'll just swap those.
What is the? I think Corvette is the smallest massive. No, Mobile Base Ship is a massive, and Planetary Runner is a massive. Why?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Planetary Runner should be a cyborg, bro.
So
that's a cyborg.
Yeah. Well, it could become a cyborg massive.
Yeah. I don't think something with 7 points why is a Mobile Base Ship a massive?
That's what I'm saying. It's not just the stats that make up it. It's the for us it's like the thematics and also the fact that quite honestly, we want interactions with massives, which are coming with modules and with a unit like Fenfire, and we want certain units to be affected by it.
Yeah, and you guys took the support tag away from a few units last patch.
Well, we had support all over the place.
Yeah, but some of those units probably could still be support. Like, there's some weird things with support.
So I'm jotting some stuff down here from our discussions, and we'll come back to them. Berngard asked what Paragon has highest added chances to win. Well, the top ones are, you probably know what the top ones are. Carbonic Protector and Titan. Titan, of course, is top. And there are a few other ones.
So what are the other underused ones?
Yeah, let's go back to the underused ones. So we talked about Vendetta Cruiser, Nyx Devourer, the Ion Cannon. This is like one of my favorite cards in the game that gets no use.
Well, I've mentioned on my stream that I think this is a beautiful card, and people don't like that you have to basically stop playing anything.
Well, not necessarily. So Consortium, remember, they've got the destroy unit and gain three supply. I've used that for the kill with Ion Cannon. So you can drop it on a turn 10 and then destroy one of your units, and then you do 6 damage, as an example, as Consortium. But nobody plays crazy mid-range Consortium that I do. Well, frankly, because I lose with it quite often. But
nobody plays my losing deck.
You guys could make it better. I don't have, unfortunately, as much time to play as I'd like.
What else underplayed Paragons?
So Ion Cannon, I want you guys to use this thing. It's got 5 HP. Just make a copy of it. Drop a replicant on it.
If you had 2 Ion Cannons on board, that would be, if you replicant an Ion Cannon, yes, that's worth doing.
You can replicant it. You can, as the Anunnaki, you can make a couple of copies of it. Unfortunately, it's on the next turn because it costs 4 to do the, what is it, the Illusionary Force, or what is it called? Where you make a copy of a unit and becomes pacifist.
Yeah. Illusionary Force, I think that's right.
Yeah, you can deal 4 damage with Titan. True, you can deal 4 damage with Titan.
But Ion Cannon deals damage against Commander.
And it's passive. Replicant on Titan, true, yeah, that's a good one. But the thing is, yeah, Replicant on Titan is good. But again, this is sort of... well, yeah, if you have a clear board, it technically has a similar effect at the end of the...
If you have a clear board.
Yeah. It's a slightly, different strategy. The other one is the Fleet Beacon that I've almost never seen. One time I've seen the Fleet Beacon against them.
I've seen Fleet Beacon played. It has problems. When Fleet Beacon works well, I don't think I have Fleet Beacon, but
you can cloak it. I've seen some Anunnaki cloak Fleet Beacon.
Right, it's very effective with Phantom.
Yeah. Random guy, Titan does not always hit Commander, okay? I know you think that there's some sort of secret random way, but there isn't. I know you're a random guy, but that's not how it goes.
The problem with a card like Fleet Beacon or Ion Cannon is that they basically say screen on them. And they don't have any retaliation damage. So they're gonna get beat up. Like if someone plays an Ion Cannon, that's just may as well be a screen. It's a big target. And same thing with Fleet Beacon. If you play this, your opponent's first emission is going to be to remove it from the board. So you have to have some contingency. It's not enough to simply put Fleet Beacon on an empty board.
Right. No, not enough. Same thing with Ion Cannon, obviously. But Fleet Beacon, it's pretty cheap. If it works once, that's good already. and I just haven't seen it attempted, and that's the thing. That's my whole concern with everything is that I don't see a lot of attempts.
I see Fleet Beacon and Anunnaki occasionally.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else that's just not getting played?
Yes, Weaver of Synthis for some insane reason.
I play Weaver of Synthis.
Weaver of Synthis is wind. So yeah, you were asking. Burnguard was asking which card? Weaver of Synthis. That's a wind card.
This and you keep nanite regenerators for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Weaver of Synthis is amazing in a cyborg deck. Maybe the single best Paragon in the game for its build around deck. So really, people aren't building and using Weaver of Synthis.
Not as much as they should.
Are they like destroying it? Are people actually like scrapping Weaver of Synthis?
Yes. I mean, people.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, people. I mean, not a lot to be fair, but just the fact that it happens at all. I mean, and maybe people sometimes they scrap it to get something else that they really need, and that's certainly legitimate. And actually, when we're going to be changing, if we're going to be changing some of these paragons, I want to be able to give folks the ability to maybe get that paragon. Like if they've scrapped it in the past, they'll have an ability to melt it, to buy it to fuse it for cheaper scrap.
Well, that's very generous.
Yeah. So for instance, you got 150 back from it, and if you've scrapped it in the past, we'll just let you buy it back for 150.
I mean, as far as class paragons go, the Anunnaki one is weak and situational. It's a one shot, is not that impressive. The Consortium has 2 class legendaries, Material Defender, which doesn't get a lot of play, and Erdani Recruiter, which also I don't see very often. I think Erdani Recruiter is amazing in a mid-range Consortium deck. The Terran have one of the best class legendaries in the Star Guardian. Star Guardian, in combination with this card, Emergency Bunkers. Emergency Bunkers on a Star Guardian.
That's almost broken. I don't actually know what to do with that.
It is basically broken, but Terran's the only faction that can do it, and I wish every faction had an Emergency Bunkers. It's so good.
Terrans are going to have more stuff like this with modules. They're going to have stuff that makes them very, very sturdy.
But really, is Emergency Bunkers more broken than nanite regenerators? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you put Emergency Bunkers on Star Guardians, I mean, how Star Guardian, how do you actually lose that Star Guardian?
You have to do damage to it. A lot.
Insane amount of damage.
You have to do, well, either 10 damage from a single source, or lots of... You have to waste a lot of units running into it.
2 6s or 4 4s.
Although, for some reason, Emergency Bunkers, I noticed, does not protect against corrupt transformation.
Wait, you mean if you play corrupt transformation on your own Star Guardian?
No.
Oh, corrupt transformation, right. Well, that technically, that's okay, because that's not a tactic that's played on it, right?
But it's a hero power.
It's not. It's just the hero gains critical. So when all he does is he attacks, right? So
yeah,
attacks. So that's actually a good point. I haven't even thought of that. That's how you counter it.
It happened to me in a game. Somebody like critical transformation my Emergency Bunkered Star Guardian. That's
beautiful. I love that. That's fantastic. That's great. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's all legitimate. So there was a question about Weaver of Synthis. Why is it not a massive? So it's a cyborg, but it's going to be a massive once we add in double types. Can you imagine how crazy it's going to get with double types?
Why is the Weaver of Synthis is only like this big? Maybe he's just like a tiny little guy.
You're protecting your favorite Weaver. But I'm sorry, Chess. He is massive. Actually, he might not. I gotta have to check with the lore master, aka my brother, Is Dimitri on here by any chance? Let me
He's
ask.
here. He's here.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, whoever wants to see lore in the game, we have that novel ready, but Dimitri, for some reason, just does not want to release it into the game. So if you want to see some lore in the game, you should probably PM him to death right now. Just tell him that you really want to see that lore. You want to find out all about the Weaver of Synthis. Because yeah, he owes me that lore. I want to put it in.
Another Paragon nobody plays is the Parasitic Thrall.
Yes, Paris. Okay, so that brings us to the next level of Paragons. So these Paragons nobody plays, but that's because they're actually a little weak.
Parasitic Thrall's a little weak.
Parasitic Thrall is a little weak. We're gonna have to bump it. And here's the question: how do we bump Parasitic Thrall? How do you want to bump it? How do you want to increase it? Because we can't. We don't want to obviously do anything drastic, but
Well, here's my feeling. You have a 3-cost 3/3 that needs to suicide itself for its ability to work. It's
right.
basically a 3/3 that when it dies, a paranoia takes over.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was thinking of mobility exactly. So just Andrei just suggested mobility. I think Dimitri was saying the same thing. Or if we give it mobility, it can trade 2 for 1.
Yeah, I'd say that makes it more effective.
But super powerful.
Yeah, but that's an on-off switch, right? That's not a granular level of change to the card.
Exactly. It's too powerful.
I mean, I was almost. If you give it mobility, it maybe should be a 2/2 or something like that.
But the point is, it's almost guaranteed take control of an enemy unit for 3, which we didn't quite want.
Yeah, it is. It's not almost. It is guaranteed.
It is exactly. It is because it's going to kill itself, or almost guaranteed.
So, if it was a 5-cost 3/3 with mobility and its current, I'd say that's. I mean, if you give it mobility, you do have to raise the cost.
Here's the thing. Maybe we don't need to do anything. I mean, why wouldn't you play this in a late game where you drop this guy down to take somebody's Titan, as an example?
I think because it's too time consuming. I think. I mean, and also, what percentage of people actually own this card?
That's the other problem. Is not a lot. I mean, our whole thing with Vargans is not a lot, but people can craft, but they sometimes they don't.
And I agree with Time to Split's comment. The Parasitic Thrall has 0 synergy with the Shanti faction.
It's an aberration.
Yeah, but that's not sufficient. It's an aberration you would never want to copy.
Oh yeah, right.
Because if you copy it, you don't get its activate. So it has basically 0 faction synergy. It's just this like rogue thing that does this thing that would be kind of neat, but it's slow. And you, especially in a speed deck, it's got the right cost for a 25 card deck, but its effect is slow.
So why don't we just say this? Why don't we just add some faction synergy to it?
If it had faction synergy, yeah, I mean, some mutate trigger thing.
Well, we don't want to add too much text. There's already a ton of text. I have this rule against ton of text.
Well, maybe the text has to change entirely. I mean, who knows? But it needs some sort of Shanti thing.
We could actually make it. We could just make it stronger stats.
But then it's harder for it to kill itself.
True, but then we could also give it screen.
If it had screen, then it's up to the enemy to kill it. See, if it has screen, it's interesting because then the enemy has to decide whether to kill the screen and lose a unit or not. Or give it mutate screen.
Okay. Yeah, or some stuff.
Or give it
To,
maybe. Wow, I mean, I don't know if you guys have it set up, but like in Hearthstone, like when this card is played, it can be a 2-2 mobility or a 4-4 screen.
oh, options. Well, again, the mobility thing is too powerful. We can do options, but I don't know if we want to make this card more complicated.
Yeah, okay. Well, those are ideas for it.
All right, well, I jotted that down. What about so the replicant? Let's just go ahead and clarify the replicant right now.
Well, I was just on the last class Paragon. We just went through the
Oh,
class Paragon. So the last one is Asteroid Fortress, which most people think is kind of terrible. People play it. I do see a lot of new players playing Asteroid Fortress. People who are not like real winners play Asteroid Fortress because they are Hazard-Gog and they want the Hazard-Gog Paragon.
right,
But
makes
Guided
sense.
Meteorites is kind of crap.
In some situations, I mean, guided meteorites is boostable by firepower, which
Right,
nobody
but
does.
nobody plays Firepower in Hazard-Gog.
We want to expand firepower. We want people to use firepower, not just the Terrans. So, I mean, what's the issue with Asteroid Fortress? Is it too? Um, it's not easy to remove it. 3.7, people don't really save their removals for Asteroid Fortress.
If I see this as sacrificial rights, it's gone. This doesn't live on the board.
Well, I mean, you can make the same argument for everything, right? So if that's the case, then it gives you guided meteorites, at least one.
Yeah,
So
and it baits out a unit kill from the opponent. I mean, it's not terrible in that sense.
at the end of every turn, you double.
That would be insane.
We could give you discount on those meteorites, but they're already two, and this is a late game unit, so it probably won't make a difference. Oh, give just one extra one to start, like activate. You know what it can do? It can actually launch guided meteorites on entrance. It can activate and launch guided meteorites, and then draw guided meteorites. How about that?
That would be a significant
What's interesting is it's actually not on my list of weak paragons or underused paragons. Like you said, you see it
You
used.
do. It isn't underused. I think it's just not a winner.
The stats on it are good. If I don't have it in my list, that means that it's got good win stats for paragons. Dimitri always wants to make a bigger meteorite. Come
Okay,
on.
so you wanted to look at Replicant, a card that is in my library.
Yeah, so let me just jot down this Asteroid Fortress stuff. Right.
Yeah, I want to take a minute and thank everybody for being here. I hope you guys appreciate it. I don't see I don't have my dashboard up, so I can't see the. There's like 40 people here. Yeah, I hope you guys do feel like this type of discussion that for Alex to take this time and for us to have these group discussions, we're all having an effect on the future of this game, and I hope that's meaningful for you guys. It's meaningful for me. It's why I do this, and it's obviously meaningful for Alex because he has money riding on it. But if you guys are loving Star Crusade, realize this is a way that you're directly influencing the future of the game, and I hope that feels good.
Me too, Chess. I really hope so. We definitely try.
If you don't mind, Alex, we've been going about an hour. I'd like to take a 5-minute break and put
Sounds
on a cup of coffee.
great. Let's do it.
All right, you guys, we're going to be back in 5 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
All right, hour 2 of the QA with Alex Rashevsky. We're going to continue our rundown on the Paragon cards in the game, and then we're going to look at some interface changes to the deck builder and the leaderboards and things like that. And then we'll move on to questions and answers.
It always seems like we don't have much to talk about at the beginning, but then when we get into it, it's like, yeah, we can really
No,
go on.
I know. I'm messaging you beforehand. Like, is there anything you want to talk about? Nah, we'll just wing it. And it's also like, oh, we've got 3 hours to fill. Great. Like, no problem. So, jumping right back into it, what do we want to say about the replicant?
So first, I want to, for Volzhanin, Mr. Wolf, if he's watching, we do want to bring back the ability to copy activate, because that's just an awesome thing. But we might want to make stat change to it, so it's going to probably cost 3 for starters. And what happens with stats? Maybe we'll give it an extra HP or something like that. But in general, replicants should be getting a lot of use, and it's also not.
I don't think many people have replicant.
Again, I just assume that early Paragon cards should be crafted more because it's just used more often. Because I know we have a lot of heavy Paragons, and so I would expect that just in general to be crafted less, but it's not quite like that.
I own a copy of replicant. I haven't put it in a deck yet.
At all?
At all. I've never played it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you can do so many things, especially once it copies activate. Again, I used to copy activate, and then people were doing crazy things with it with Anunnaki. They were doing...
They're copying the Hierophant.
Copying the Hierophant and getting 20 psychic charge and then putting 40 true believers. Mr. Arginine has really enjoyed doing that, and I'm sure Volzhanin and those guys use that. So replicant, we do want to bring that back, but yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be 3 cost, 1, 2 HP, and I definitely want to see more of it being used in the game. What can we do? What can we do with it that will encourage you guys to use it?
What's next?
Next, we've got the Land Crawler.
Oh, the Land Crawler. This was like, I think, my first Paragon.
So that should be used. It actually in the closed beta it used to lower everybody's attack by 2, if you can believe that.
I mean, with Anunnaki, with the Emissary, this is insanely good. In every other situation, I wouldn't play it.
Then we might just buff its stats, if that's the case.
Still wouldn't play it.
Really? If we make it a 3/6 or a 3/7, still no?
Why do I need a 6-drop 3/7 in my deck? It's still under stats for 6 mana. I don't need the effect. All units having 1 less attack is for the most of the decks I build, lately anyway. For my mid-range stuff, I don't really care.
What about as aggro defense? We can make it a 5 cost, like a 5. I don't know about 5/3/5, but something maybe like a 5/2/5. Would that?
You want to have an aggro defense that doesn't get out until turn 6? I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. We drop 5. We already did a great job with the anti-merc aggro defense at 6, which actually I want to change as well because it doesn't make sense at 6.
I don't think the Conclave Harvester has any effect on how good Consortium Rush is.
0, yeah. So we're going to rework the Conclave Harvester in general.
I mean, the problem with the Rush meta that we kind of just glazed over that, but I mean the Landcrawler. Since we're talking about Landcrawlers and any aggro card, the situation of aggro in Star Crusade right now is that there is no way to stop an aggro deck that gets a great hand. If they get their dream hand, you're not stopping them. Like, there is no feasible scenario that stops it. Like, somebody who's playing Consortium, they get in their opening hand 2 Syndicate Collectors, an Eridani Guards, and 2 double Retainers. So they play, and they go second. So turn 1, they coin out both Collectors. Turn 2, they play Eridani Guards. Turn 3, they only have 1 mana, so they Protective Services 1 of the Eridani Guards. And turn 4, double Retainers. Dead.
They also play the card that destroys a unit, gets them three extra supply, and then they use it to get more credit stuff, like the Legion or whatever. So,
If they have a good hand, if they have the hand they want, there is no play in the game that can stop it, except like maybe some precision strikes or a lucky saturate fire. No faction is equipped to stop what they are able to do in that amount of time. The amount of damage they're able to put on the board. And there's some variations of Shanty Rush that can put out some insane damage early. And but if Consortium Rush gets its dream hand, it's unstoppable.
well, I think that's okay. So the part I think is okay is only in the case where it gets really its best possible hand. In other words, something like 10% of the time, 15% of the time. So I think I'm okay with every deck, no matter how ridiculous the burst damage, winning at a 10% guaranteed rate. I think that's okay. You can't really remove that from the game entirely.
Yeah.
So, but I do have a problem with some of the things that I've been seeing. It's almost not even a dream hand. It's just a good hand, and it kills you on turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. So we want that stuff. Like we want the Conclave Harvester. So the Land Crawler in general, I'd love for that to be used as some sort of an anti-aggro, but for that it would need to cost 4 and
3.
Exactly. I was going to say 3, but 3 is just insane. So for 3, -1 attack is absurd. So, yeah, Landcrawler will make it cheaper, and we'll figure out what to do with it. But the Conclave Harvester, if you want to bring that up, that guy should be like a 3-cost unit, so that you can theoretically put one or 2 in the deck if really it becomes an issue, and do some damage. But obviously we want it to be a little bit more versatile, because if it only does damage to mercs, then give crawler screen. That's a pretty good idea.
I think it would be more effective if it had stealth or if it had cloak than screen.
Yeah, those are all ideas.
I think giving it less health, less cost, and cloak.
Jesus, cloak will be insane.
Yeah, but if it was a 3-drop 2/2,
3-drop 2/2 with cloak and -1, that might be a little OP. But I'll think about that cloak thing. We'll run that. We'll see if we can test it out. The other thing with testing is, since we're still early, we don't have a lot of players. I would rather we all test it in the game as opposed to just a few of us play a few games. It's basically impossible for us to quickly test something thoroughly just with 6 of us. So I would rather just make some stuff that maybe doesn't seem fully balanced and have all of us play through it and just kind of work through it and look at the analytics, as opposed to us doing it ourselves. I can't look at Silent Night in Hearthstone because I don't play Hearthstone anymore. But yeah, Conclave Harvester, I want to do something with it. So I want to lower its cost, because when the STC Rush came out, I immediately thought, well, hey, we have a unit for that, but clearly it's not fast enough to get there.
It's not even close to fast enough.
It's not even close.
If you have a problem with a Consortium Rush, it's way before turn 6.
Right. All right. Let's look at Etho the Absorber, which is called a different name in Russian. So put him up. and I'll tell you what we're going to do with him, because it's a little unclear. So the replicant is going to copy the activate ability, but Etho the Absorber will not, and he does not right now copy the activate ability. But what he does do now is only copy the text, the base text of a card. And I'm thinking about whether we want to have it copy the current text of the card.
Copy buffs.
Yeah, buffs or debuffs or whatever. Right now it does not, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. And
well, the thing is that he's very high stats, so often he can copy effects off of cards, and the fact that he doesn't get their stats is he still ends up being higher statted than the thing he nullified.
Right. Yeah. But imagine, you nullify someone's Nyx Hound. I mean, that's kind of a hell of a buff.
Yeah, or my 22/22 Vengeful Outcast.
Right. That's true, exactly. Because as it stands right now, yeah, you nullify, you get. So he is still strong, but I want to know if this is going to make him, in fact, too strong.
Yeah.
No. So that's the change that this guy might get.
I would say if he could copy buffs, he would have to not nullify the target. That would
too strong, right?
Be the only way that would be fair is if he can get those buffs, but he can't take them away. Because the size of the buffs he can take are so big that then you leave your opponent with no way to counter what you just created.
Well, in that case, we have to do something else, because I like the specificity of nullify plus gain. So I really like that.
It would be, if he could gain X% of buffs or buffs up to X, which is complicated. But if he can just gain an unlimited buff, any buff in the game, a buff that may have taken 10 turns to accumulate.
Right. Random guy, stop talking about the brigands. The more you talk about them, the more I want to nerf them. You keep trying to protect them, but don't bring attention to them. That's the best you can do to protect
What's
them.
going on with Brigands of Arcturus?
Well, what's going on is that they are a little bit too random. They're a little bit too wild swingy. So we do want to make some changes, because I think it's pretty damn frustrating when.
Well, I crafted Brigands of Arcturus because random guy kept coming in. He's like, oh, for this deck you need Brigands. For this deck you need Brigands. Oh, for this deck is no good without Brigands. And like this ongoing debate. And the thing is, when Brigands go on a roll, they're the best thing you ever saw. You're like cheering, yes, Brigands, go!
Yeah, except the other guy is having the worst time of his life.
Absolutely.
And so this card is like just get one player incredibly frustrated. Either you are not, he's going to die immediately, in which case you're going to feel terrible, or he's going to kill 8 things, then the other guy. So it has maybe like 50% probability of pleasing everybody, where he kind of comes out, dies once, comes out again, and then doesn't come back, where it's like, oh, that seems fair. But then every other option is just terrible to look at.
But if he's gonna do that, why not just make him an 8/2 mobility?
So we'll see. We'll see. There's a couple of things we're doing. We like the random chance to redeploy, but we might either put a cap on it, or maybe the first time he gets mobility and then the second time he doesn't. So you can't just do the thing where you kill 6 things in one turn.
What I don't like about him is this 50% chance to deploy the unit. I like his concept. I like the way he works in the game. I just don't like this weird, ambiguous, maybe he comes back, maybe he doesn't. Like,
well, he's a pirate. He's a space pirate, Chess.
You think that maybe he comes back, maybe he doesn't, is some code of space pirates?
You just don't know. And the other thing, we could change it if you don't like that. If you don't like that, you're really not going to like the change that I'm thinking of, which is his chance to come back. This is a crazy thing. We're probably not going to do this, but his chance to come back will be equal to your energy level. Remember, that can be from 0 to 100.
Okay, well, that's at least interesting.
Yeah. So it could be like 27% chance to come back. Because most games, I think energy is going to go up to realistically like 50. I think.
Andre Drozhinin has that he is reducing each
Oh,
recursion of him reduces attack.
that's
That's
cool.
interesting idea.
That's a cool one. So 4-1 mobility revenge deploy 3-1. That's hard to put in game text because that's not an actual rule. Because I mean, we have to basically hard code it in for that. So it would be like brigand mobility revenge deploy brigand 3-1, and then that's a separate card, which is brigand 3-1 mobility revenge deploy brigand 2-1. So it's a little bit weird from a development point of view,
Yeah,
but it's
but that would really fix the card.
all right. Let's look at that. Oh, that might actually make it fun.
Then you still get this neat effect of this unkillable brigand. I think
Yeah,
that
like
is a
like.
really good compromise.
Thanks, Andre. Remind me to hook you up with a booster. That's a good one. Yeah, we can deploy an altered name minion, unit rather minion. That's the first time I've said minion this year. Okay, what else we've got? We've got Council Voidliner. We're almost finished with these.
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty to look at. Plenty of paragrams. Council Voidliner. This is crap.
He's strange.
It's crap. It's not like. It's not even like. If this was Impact, he'd be way, way, way better. As an activate, it's just like after this turn he comes into play.
You know what? That's a good change. I like that. Any other ideas for this? I like that. I mean, he's way underpowered right now. And
Yeah, after this effect activates, who cares the Council Voidliner's on the board? Nobody cares. He's doing nothing.
He's the Council Voidliner.
Yeah, he just looks cool, that's all. But he just, after his effect resolves, he's meaningless.
All right, I like that. Impact. All enemy units cost one more supply. That's actually very powerful. And anti-rush.
It makes him a way better card.
Would you play him as a 5/5/4 with that impact?
You'd want him earlier because once people get up into 6, 7, 8 mana, they don't care so much. Supply, I mean. They don't care so much about the cost of their cards.
So we can go probably 4/4/3. But that's very powerful. Oh my god. The thing is, you bring that out as a 4-cost unit, and then suddenly every unit, the enemy is more expensive. Every unit. So now to deal with that thing is going to be a lot harder. Every unit. So that means it's especially powerful against aggro, which makes sense. But it's powerful against anybody who plays low-cost units. Increased cost of units in enemy hand forever. Well, that's I like that. Actually, I like that too. You know, one thing we're adding, not now, but probably in March, is the scan ability. Did I tell you about that, Chess?
The skin for cards?
This scan. No, it's an ability. It's a new ability called scan.
Scan.
Yeah, scan. So it's not in yet, but check this out. So you have a unit with a scan ability, scan keyword, or you have a tactic with a scan keyword, and you play it, and it gives you a choice of what you want to check in the enemy's hand. So you select, like you play, let's say, some sort of a scout. It's a card comes out, it's got the scan ability. You get options on the screen. You see the options on the screen will say screen mobility, destroy unit, destroy weapon, and maybe that's it. And then you select one of those options, and it tells you, it doesn't tell you what card they have, but it tells you whether or not that ability is in the enemy's hand.
Yeah, well, the big one is nullifies.
Nullify, exactly, nullify. So you basically know, as opposed to guess, like for instance, or destroy all units, like it would be like damage or destroy all units. So for instance, you want to know if the enemy Hajer has your favorite Scour card, deal 3 damage to all undamaged units, or you want to know if that Hierarchy 40 that you're fighting actually has the fusion bomb.
Of course he does. He has 2 of them.
In his hand. I mean in his hand, right? So you would find that out. So for those players who really like to get a little more information, that's what we're going to put in.
That's a cool effect.
That's going to play well with something like the Council of Voidliner, because you can find out what he's got, and then you can choose to play or not play a Council of Voidliner based on the information that you got. Okay, so I noted those. Those are good options, both from you and from Andre. Let me just.
Does anyone play Suicide Drone?
Let's open up Suicide Drone.
It's an epic. It's a heroic, but
yeah. See, we got to talk about heroics separately, but yeah, open that up. It's a little too random, but it's strong.
Well, let's stick with Paragons. There's been a lot of discussion about Avatar of Woe in the past.
Avatar of Woe is... Let me see. Is he not on this list? Yeah, he's actually not on this list, which means he's getting good use and he's strong and it's okay. That's really strange to me, but he's not on my list.
He is strong. People in my... I've heard suggestion that this effect is maybe too good.
Well, it is and it isn't. You know, you could give back to the enemy something that he could use again. So I've heard arguments on both sides of the table.
Right, if it sends back a Void Probe, if he sends back a Saboteur, okay, great. But if he sends back a screen, it's no good at all. So.
Right, exactly. But that's good, right? That's what you want. You want... So basically, it's fine the way it is right now. It's based on its win percentage and its usage. It's okay. We don't really play Magic the Gathering, Dort Vader, and to be fair, we don't really play much of anything except Star Crusade these days. So, so if that's the case, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I think Ravager was on your list.
Yeah, Ravager is definitely on the list. Berserker King, Ravager, and Reavers. Those are getting changed for sure.
There's no card in English called Berserker King.
Oh yeah, it's because I have the old names for IDs. It's from old development. He's basically
Gongor the Insane.
You got it. You got it. You figured it out, Jess. You solved the riddle. Gongor the Insane, Ravager, and Reavers.
Well,
those guys are not
let's talk about them.
And too weak. So Gongor, understandably, does he still attack like your own face? He used to do that, you know.
I own it. I own the card. It's in my collection. I've never seen a reason to put this in a deck.
Really, a 5/8/8. You've never seen a reason.
That might attack anything.
Yeah, we can make it attack random enemy unit.
That would be a significant improvement, yeah.
It's gonna attack your own units.
You just want to unleash an 8/8 on the board, like.
Right. So yeah, this guy's getting changed basically. If you have some thoughts, you can drop them in there. Rosemarine, when he first tried Gongor, he cleared his board, like his own board.
Yeah, nobody's gonna play it if it can do that.
Okay, so we might do that.
Really, and if it was a 6-drop 8/8, I mean, in Hearthstone, the trolls 50% of the time attack the wrong target, right? And those are generally well costed units. Those are usually the appropriate price for the stats. So if he would not clear your own board, he could cost more.
Right. Yeah, Patrick is saying you could nullify it. It's true, you could. And remember, we have this is the other thing. People are not really using the Liberator, which is right there on the bottom left there. The Liberator is actually meant to do stuff like this. It's meant to save you from enemy tactics and also to clear your pacified units and to free Gangor the Insane
Well, I
from his
think the
madness.
Liberator, when people see the Liberator, what they associate it with is derelict battleship.
Yeah, of course. That's what it was designed for originally.
And nobody wants to put. That's four cards in your deck that you could that
Right,
you could do something totally better with.
right.
That's there's not enough attractiveness. The Liberator is a 5 cost 5/5, nothing special. He's just even odds, and you only have the Liberator in your deck to free your derelict battleships. So
Well,
and
he's a 5/5/5. He's good. He's good in unit in general.
he's an okay unit. He's average.
He's an okay unit. Yeah.
What's derelict battleship stats?
Oh, 7/4 for 3.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean liberating those is good value. And liberating your automated defenses, I guess.
Right.
So what else? We were talking. What about Warzok the Terror? Okay, here's the thing. Nobody's. I don't know if you noticed this. Nobody's playing armor.
Yeah. Isn't that surprising? Remember when the game first came out and everyone was saying how Armored is completely broken?
In season one, Arceus Cruiser was in every deck. In
Exactly.
season one,
Exactly.
every single person was playing Arceus Cruiser. No one plays armor now.
Right.
Soak, yes.
So
Armor, no.
Armored is coming back with modules for Terran units, as an example, and for there's going to be another thing for the Hajergog, but yeah, that's this guy's getting underused tremendously, and because no one's playing Armored.
Well, if armor was resistant to tactic damage, it would be way scarier.
Well, we could buff some armor units, but they're already like there's some the Terrans have some strong ones, and there's the 5/3
The Arceus
out
Cruiser.
2/4 Arcus Cruiser, the Bombardiers right there, well 5/2/4 maybe a little bit too
I have
expensive.
never ever seen someone play Bombardiers.
Bombardiers. That's another example of a heroic card that doesn't get any use.
I've never seen Bombardiers played by anybody for any reason.
That's bad.
Well, when you could just play Arceus Cruiser instead, why play this?
Right. 5/5/3, 5/2/4. Yeah, so that's off. So we're gonna be, we kind of had our hands full with modules and with bugs, but we're gonna roll out some pretty serious balance changes, which we hope will increase the undervalued card and fix some of the problems in the game.
So obviously, Shadow Infiltrator is an all-star.
Yeah, yeah, but again, it's got no problems. Obviously, it's a powerful unit, so that's not getting changed, and it's not on any of my lists. But still, you don't bump into it that often. And again, I think for
Oh
any
no, Shadow Infiltrator has got to be one of the most played Paragons in the game right now. I would think.
bump into it, I don't know. Maybe it's been
I think he's one of the most consistently useful Paragons because everyone plays screens.
yeah. And again, that very same carbonic protector, you don't have to even waste your massive your Fenfire. You can use your
Shadow Infiltrator is super useful, and he's a mercenary.
yeah, right.
So what about the Restless? This is a weird card to me.
It's good. It's under, so we're not going to be buffing it. It's fine. You got to be able to play it situationally. I think it should get a lot more use in just different decks. I want to see what you guys can come up with.
I again would prefer a diminishing effect than this chance to attack again. This weird randomness that the brigands have applies to this card too.
Not really. There's no randomness, right? You just have to kill another unit.
So this is incorrect English.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm reading it. Yeah, that's wrong. So it that's true. It can attack one more time. So let me jot that in.
This should say devour, attack again.
Attack again. Yeah, attack one more time. Attack again. So let me actually change that. Yeah, so that's all it is. Devour, attack again.
Okay, so I've been misunderstanding that card, and that's why I haven't tried it.
Yeah, possibility. Jeez, that's sorry about that.
So yeah, exactly time to split. It's way better than I thought.
Yeah. So let's start using that card, and I'll change the text on that.
Ravager.
The restless. The Ravager. This guy needs to be changed because it's underused and also underpowered. Again, we can make it a lower unit. In general, our paragons are kind of expensive in terms of the supply cost.
Well, look, there's a warlock spell in Hearthstone called Hellfire that has this exact effect.
Deal 3 to everybody?
Yes. And it is in every warlock deck. It is played. So I don't know that this is a bad effect. I think that it's a bad effect on this unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if making it easier to kill, making it easier to suicide it, is what you want to do, or you want to make it harder to kill. I don't know which direction makes this a more attractive card. Do you guys have thoughts on that in chat?
Yeah, if there's any thoughts on that, well, to be honest with you, I don't quite know what to do with it. I'm almost thinking.
The effect is not weak, but it is cantrippy. It is like something that could be a low-cost tactic.
Yeah, we were thinking of giving it screen. Then it's sort of what I don't like about that is that it's just basically a time bomb. I mean, either way, it's a time bomb, but this way the opponent has to do it right away. Doesn't have options. I'd rather the opponent has some options.
The only problem with that design is it's a card you can only play when you're already winning.
Mm-hmm. Costless. Yeah.
If you're losing the game, you cannot play Ravager.
Right. Okay, and then we've got, so I think Reavers are now renamed. So could you type in Reavers and see if you get anything?
There's nothing called Reavers.
So then that's Warzok the Terror, basically, which we've got to change. Maybe we'll just buff the Terror stats. And that's pretty. I think that's all. That's every. Oh no, there's a few other ones on my list. Oh no, Advisor. So Advisor is the last one here. I think it's good the way it is. I think it's great the way it is. But for some
people in my stream call this card Putin, by the way.
Advisor?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. There he is. Sure, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he's got the red button.
They also call the Syndicate Collector Hitler, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, there's somebody who says that's the Hitler card.
I don't know. I don't see that.
I don't either, but
all right, so the Advisor, I've had some pretty cool plays with this guy. I like him as it is, but again, he's not getting play and he's not getting wins.
Well, okay, so there's three factors in this, right? One is that some classes have not very good ciphers that you wouldn't want to copy. Like the Hadragog ciphers basically have no effect on you. Uh, the Hydrogog ciphers are extremely situational. Um, Advisor has gotten a little boost in play as a result of the new Anunnaki cipher deck that uses those two, uses the guy who does damage when there's ciphers in play.
But the thing is, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Cipher of your class. Well, that's less defensive, more offensive. Time to split. You get that for free. You don't pay a supply. You just play it and you get a cipher. Oh, get it in your hand. That's interesting. More power. I like the fact that when it comes out, you just get the cipher. It's very...
Yeah, no, I like that it's a random cipher of the opponent's class. It gives this mystery to the game.
Yep.
But maybe it should be random cipher period. Maybe it should be random cipher period.
Just a random. I think that's because I like the fact that if you know the game, you kind of know the 3-4 ciphers that the enemy has. You can say like, oh, maybe this is what's going to save me, and then you get it, and then it works, and it's nice. So maybe we'll change the stats. I like that ability, but obviously
I don't think the stats are the issue with this card. I think for me the issue with Advisor is that the result is potentially lackluster.
We can make it deploy a cipher every turn from the enemy's class to make it an insta-kill.
That's potentially insane, but yeah, he would be a much more high priority situation then.
Maybe let you choose from 2 ciphers, but again, I like that wow moment where you catch just the cipher that you need. Well, it's already a random cipher, Burnguard.
No, he's saying what I mean. Random cipher, period.
Cipher? Oh.
Because I'm saying if I'm Hazur Gog and somebody plays Advisor against me, I think none of the Hazur Gog ciphers are going to have any effect on what I'm doing. So that's fine.
What do you mean? You're the Hazur Gog and you have a weapon and they deploy a cipher class that could let them take control of your weapon?
I've never thought that's the rarest Hazur Gog cipher.
That's true, of course, but
no one plays Iron Grip.
And that's also strange to me. Why do people not play Iron Grip when there's non-stop weapons in the game?
There's only 2 weapons in the game that anyone cares about.
Oh, that's true. Well, nowadays there's the Merc tiny little weapon, and then of course the Hierarchy and the Hazur Gog.
Well, the Sat Swarm is really good, but it's not played much. The Displacer Cannon is played, the Hellfire Cannon is played, and the Tachyon Emitter are played.
I love a random guy always complains about the random effect being like, off tilt. And this guy's
Andy wants the Brigands of Arcturus to continue to be random.
Yeah, I love that. Rosemarine, you're my favorite. You're my favorite. All right, so I think that does it for the Paragons.
Does it?
I think so, for the Paragons that I wanted to.
So the ones, just to review, the ones that seem fine then are Indomitable, Man-O-War, Titan.
Of course.
I've started playing Indomitable lately, and I enjoy it. We think that Avatar of Woe is basically fine.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about Heavy Transport is fine. Shadow Infiltrator's fine.
Yep.
Archon Carrier is fine.
It's not getting too much use, but it's like medium, so I didn't really want
Preacher is getting a lot of use and is actually a real good design. Preacher is a really good card design.
Thank you. That's one of our favorites from the beta. It's just
it does it's annoying as hell and it works.
Yep.
Fenfire is good as long as what's a massive gets adjusted. And what does that leave? That leaves. Oh, we didn't talk about Brash Smuggler, but I've seen that used to great
Brash Smuggler
effect.
is kick-ass card. So that card gets used and it is
It
powerful.
takes a lot of thought to play it well too, and I like that.
You need to know the enemy's deck, the enemy's faction, and your own, and how it interplays. So I love cards like that. I want more cards like that, where you need to know the game deeper.
Phoenix Fighter is. I don't see it that much, but it's decent for what it is. And that leaves. That's everything for neutral paragons.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Okay, guys. So, I guess next time we do one of these, we'll take a look at, depending on what's going on in the game. We do need to do sort of a review on the heroics, but we're already almost to the end of our second hour.
And I got less time today, so we're gonna probably wrap up in about 10-15 minutes, if you don't mind, Chess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we got to get to questions and all that. Well, 15-20 minutes, whatever we need.
Okay, well, here's the new leaderboard graphic for anybody who's interested. This is what the leaderboard is going to look like. And you can see, let me make this a little bigger.
The leaderboard is going to be broken down into 5 divisions now. We've got Paragon Heroic, Gold, Silver, and Bronze. And we're going to give rewards for, because I'm seeing a lot of, this season already, there's a lot more Imperators that.
Yeah, there's 25 right now.
Yeah, and we're still, halfway through it. So, there's a lot of players, and not everybody gets to go to the top spots. So, because the top 100, really is a small proportion of players. So we're going to give divisions so that I can actually earn something in the game, because I can't get into the top 100 anymore.
So is this also coming with the modules?
Yeah. It might even be sooner than them.
Okay, leaderboard divisions. We got a new deck list interface here. This is how it's in Russian, so bear with us.
There's some, I don't know if.
But this is far more legible than the existing deck list.
So that one, just to show you some stuff about that. So basically, we're going to add different icons so you can see what's a tactic and what's a unit. And we're also going to show the rarity, which we didn't for heroics and paragon cards. So you see like the golden one, that's a paragon. And we're going to do a separate one for heroic.
That looks real clean.
Yeah, and we're going to make the graphic itself a little bigger so that people can tell what the card actually is. Clean up the numbers, move the ×2 to the right. And also on the top there, you can actually see the modules. That's how you're going to select your...
oh, yeah. Is that cut off? Yeah, it's cut off.
Is it? Yeah. So we have a different screen. Just you want to show the deck builder with modules. There's one that shows the whole screen. You see that one? And maybe we can show that one. It's the deck builder with modules, and it's got like a little break.
This one, I think.
No, that's the deck sharing, which we'll get to in a moment.
Deck sharing, deck builder with modules. I don't think you gave me that.
Throw it to you on Skype. Hang on. It is this one. I may have missed it before. I hope it's that one. I'm going to check myself.
Oh yeah, you didn't send me this one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep. Yeah. Mont is going to enjoy that one. That one, the one we talk about deck sharing, it's got a lot of Mont in there. Apparently, our graphic designer must have been watching him at the time. So this one we're going to be looking at. That one is the screen, the new deck builder with the modules set up, and another thing that I'm going to show you.
So that's this image is what we're talking about.
Deck sharing. I'm glad that you gave Julia a laugh. That's great.
Julia has a dirty mind.
Yes, you guys get along. Anyway, there's that image.
So this is deck building with modules.
Yep. So you can see there. So the module spots are there, top left. You're gonna be able to select them separately in that tab on the right above the cards where it says cards and modules. So you select modules, and and then you drop them in there. You must have one module. If you remove all of them, you basically will get one of the base modules. So like the ability that we have now, and you will, for every empty module, you get +1 energy at the end of the turn. And otherwise you have 1, 2, or 3 modules. And that also will show you, like, there's going to be 2 buttons. The tactic, you can click on the tactic to highlight the tactic cards in your deck, click on the unit to highlight the unit cards, and also it shows you the number of different types that you've got.
But the window showing available cards seems to have gotten a lot smaller.
No, that you're just looking at the 4x3 screen. For us regular folk, it's going to be 16:9, so it's going to be normal size.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just an iPad resolution. Because remember, we're working on the iPad version now, and that's one of our strong.
How is that going to? Right now, our collections are associated with Steam IDs. How are we going to be able to get our collections on iPad?
You're going to need to import it. So when you launch the game first time on iPad, you're going to have an option to either register new or import from Steam. And if you import from Steam, you basically do it once, and then your collections are, your email address that you put in into the iPad version will be associated with your Steam ID. And so your progress will just be synced all the time between that email address and your Steam ID.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. But you can't, so for those people that come in and they forget to import their Steam ID, and they just play on the iPad version, you won't be able to synchronize them. You can only choose one or the other. So that's why we're going to make it really apparent that you can roll it in right away. And we'll try to stress that.
Okay, so what's this that we're looking at here? This deck sharing, you said?
Yeah, so the deck sharing, everyone has a laugh again. Thanks, Julia. That's great. The deck sharing and the ability to browse top decks, we want to build it right into the game. And so you're going to have a separate option to go from the main menu where you're going to be able to see the top decks that have been submitted. The reason why we want to do that in game is because I want to promote more diversity. We want to see more different type of decks being used, which we're not seeing again, and kind of combat this thing where people don't use heroics or paragons, etc. So this one, you can see basically you can come in there, you can browse the different decks. You can browse by like type, by author. You can look at the supply curve and all of this stuff. Right now, so at the beginning, you're just going to be able to see these decks in the game. The next feature, you're going to be able to hit the import button, and it's going to automatically basically make a deck in your own deck builder that's going to be a copy of it, and whatever cards you don't have, they're going to be highlighted in red, so you can either make them right away or remove them from your deck and replace them with something else.
It's funny, it's such a simple feature that because Blizzard couldn't be bothered with this, there's a whole industry around providing this service to Hearthstone players. There's people making money doing this for Hearthstone players outside of Blizzard's purview.
Right.
You guys are just like, forget that. We'll build it into our game.
Yeah, and we actually, if it was available somewhere, that would be great. We don't mind, but there's going to be a convenience. You just browse it right in the game. You can share it with your friends. You can like it. You can write about it.
Oh, that's terrific.
And you import it. That's the coolest thing. You just press one button and you build it out.
Yeah, that's a great feature. I hope everybody's excited for that. And when you expect this will come with the leaderboards?
So that one, no, that'll be probably with the modules or a little bit before. Depends on how things go. Yeah, we want to do a simple version of it where at least you can browse decks sooner rather than later.
So everything we've seen today, you guys, is slated for February as far as we know. So we're talking like in the next 3 weeks, all this stuff is going to be coming to Star Crusade, and we'll be able to. This is all going to be stuff that on the next Q&A, which I imagine will be in 3 or 4 weeks, we'll partly. I'd like to do these more often, Alex. I have a play opening over the next 3 weeks that I'll be busy with. And I know you're very busy working on the game.
Yep.
But hopefully at the next Q&A, all these features will be in the game already, and we'll be able to talk about their impact. So I think those were all the images you sent me. Let's spend this last. Alex has to go shortly. Let's spend a little time taking some Q&A. You guys have. Let's start. Just go ahead, and we'll take them in order. Things you guys want to get addressed, questions about things we've talked about today. Last time we did go another hour, but Alex's time is limited, and I've got XCOM to play.
I hope you're going to be done with XCOM soon and come back to Star Crusade, but I can certainly understand it, Chess.
I'm higher rank right now in Season 3 than I finished in Season 2, so...
Good. Right, so we'll take some questions, guys, now. If you have them, just write them in chat. And meanwhile, we probably want to maybe give away some boosters. So if you want to set up a little roll, maybe we'll give away 3 boosters.
Oh, booster giveaway!
Why not? I know. Time to split. The chances, right now, I think the chances are all the same everywhere, but I certainly have been noticing that raid players get a lot of paragons. I don't know, but theoretically, the chances should be the same as in the boosters. Will Anunnaki get nerfed? No, because they're good. I think they're pretty strong now. Remember, they were very weak, weaker in the first 2 seasons, and now they're a lot better. So I think we're gonna see how they work, especially with modules. There's a lot of stuff that's being added for an Anunnaki that has to do with pacifism, and that has to do with zero attack stuff. And so yeah, they're going to keep frustrating you in ranked until you figure out how to stop deploying so many units against the Anunnaki.
All right, well, what are we giving away right now, Mr. Rashevsky?
Why don't we do this? Have you guys all written reviews on Steam? Have you really written reviews on Steam? Have you all really? So I just want to remind everyone before we give away these boosters to please go to Steam right now and write a few good words about the game, because we really need it in order to bring in organic users, which we all could use.
And follow my stream. Follow my stream. I can see when you win. It's going to show here whether you're following my stream or not. And you don't want me to take away your prize because you're not following my stream.
Just do this. We can make it simple right now, Chess. So we'll give away 3 boosters, but if a follower wins, they're going to get 5.
Wow, you hear that? If you're not following, you have the option to continue to not follow. And the truth is, we all know you can just unfollow after this broadcast, but that would be shiesty, and you don't want to be that kind of person.
Right.
You want to follow me for the rest of your existence on this planet. But if you are a follower, you will win 5 packs, and if you're not a follower, you can choose to make your point of view clear by not following, and you can still win 3 packs.
Random guy, are you serious? You did not review the game? You're top 5 in the game right now.
How many sets of packs are we giving away?
Why don't we try? Let's do 5.
Okay, we're having 5 winners. This is going to be a keyword giveaway. The keyword is going to be, once again...
Why don't we do review? Something about review on Steam.
The keyword is going to be review Star Crusade on Steam. I will type it once. This is the keyword. You must type this phrase, review Star Crusade on Steam.
And make sure you follow Chess.
And you're following Chess Piece Face to enter the giveaway.
And random guy, look at me, random guy. Go and write the review right now. You're in the top 5, top 10 of Star Crusade. We need you to say a few words. Go click that button right now.
So, again, we're doing the drawing in 5 minutes at 1:13 p.m. By my chat log clock. And you can see the chat log clock on my giveaway lay-in. In 5 minutes, anyone who has typed review Star Crusade on Steam, ! Will be eligible to win 5 packs.
And also, guys, look at all these messages. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I just have this desire to review Star Crusade on Steam.
Yeah, it's like the whole stream wants people to review Star Crusade on Steam.
I'm going to go and do it right now. I'm going to do it right now.
So far, we have... what's going on with the interface here? Why can't...
Rosemarine, I have an idea for you. Buy some boosters for $5 and then review Star Crusade on Steam.
So far, 26 people want to win. There are 50 people watching. Only 26 of them want to win boosters, apparently.
How about this also? To help random guy make his jump to his first purchase on Steam, why don't I I'll double your boosters today only if you buy it right now. Double your boosters.
Wait. So anybody who's listening to this broadcast live,
yes,
and pays cash for boosters in-game will get twice as many?
Right now only right now.
And how do they get that?
They write it to me. I'll see it in the analytics, and then I will give them the extra.
All right, you heard it. Have you ever heard a better offer from a game dev? Seriously, that's amazing. Anybody who buys cash boosters before this broadcast ends will get double back.
Yeah. I want to do that because I really want random guy to buy some boosters and review us on Steam. In fact, I'm going to get into this giveaway also.
So all you have to do, if you need to say that in Russian, I guess go ahead. But
here we go. Ребята, пока что вот на время этого стрима, кто сейчас купит бустеры за настоящие деньги, то есть прямо в магазине, я даю столько же бустеров добавку бесплатно. То есть покупайте 50, я даю еще 50, покупайте 10, даю еще 10. В основном у нас есть некоторые игроки, например, вот Rosemary, Random Guy, который не может написать ревью, потому что он еще ничего не купил на Steam. Если у вас такая же ситуация, то как раз хорошее время купить бустеры, помочь нам в разработке. Я удваиваю вам это количество бустеров. То есть вы купленные, пишите мне, что вы купили, я проверю в аналитике, даю вам столько же бустеров, и вы можете написать ревью.
No, Yofis, your card collection will never be wiped in Star Crusade.
Never be wiped. Yeah.
So again, anyone who wants to make a cash purchase through Steam in-game before the end of this broadcast, I may have to take Alex up on this myself, although I assume I can have 5-minute window after the broadcast to do mine.
Yes.
So not only are we giving away free packs, we are doubling your purchases. You can get in-game right now, you could buy 50 packs for $45. Right now, at this moment, that would buy you 100 packs for $45. That's insane value. Support the game, support all these great features that are coming, the new modules, all these great deck sharing features, and the very, hopefully, bright future of Star Crusade by making a purchase now.
Thanks.
And if you type in the keyword review Star Crusade on Steam, which I'll give it to you once more, here's the keyword again. Only 28 people are entered to win right now. There are 43 viewers here. 43 people in chat. Only 28 have entered to win free packs. It is 1:13. It is now the time. So if you've not typed review Star Crusade on Steam, I'm sorry. It is too late. We're now doing the giveaways. So we're giving 5 sets of packs away. The first winner of 5 packs is Ironic Statesman. Ironic Statesman, sir, please give your Steam, your in-game name.
Ironic Statesman, is he a follower?
He is a follower. You can see it right there. He is following. And please let us know your in-game name. Ironic Statesman wins 5 packs.
Okay, Ironic Statesman. You know, Ironic Statesman, I'm pretty sure I named a bot after you, I think. Or maybe it was the other way around. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I love your name so much that I named a bot after you.
The second winner of 5 packs today. Gear Checks Are Difficult, a great friend of the stream. Gear Checks Are Difficult has been watching my broadcast for the better part of the last 3 years on and off. And always happy to see a friend and loyal viewer rewarded. Gear Checks Are Difficult wins 5 packs.
All right, excellent.
Is that your in-game name, Gear Checks?
What's your in-game name? Rosemarine, I don't know how else to get you to buy packs. I mean, this is crazy. How about this? I'm gonna nerf the pirate unless you buy some packs. I'm nerfing the pirates. It's happening.
His in-game name is Death.
Death?
That's what he says. That's what he says.
Really? Death. All right, Death. I heard some weird reports about you on the Reddit. Why don't you go check it out and see if it's the truth?
What?
Yeah.
On the Star Crusade Reddit?
Yeah, there's somebody talking about Death. I don't remember what, but
I have to go read a little gossip about Gear Checks.
There you go.
Winner number 3 of 5 packs. Good Game 8918, our old Russian friend.
Excellent. Good Game. What is your...
Good Game is not following my stream, which is amazing because he's been here a bunch of times.
Good Game. I'll give you 2 seconds to follow Chess's stream, and then we'll make that 5. Good Game. What's your Steam name?
He's Good Kudere, like Kuudere.
Oh, he also says he is a longtime follower, so that does make more sense, Chess.
He was he's been unfollowed. Twitch may have unfollowed him.
Oh, gotcha.
Or he might have unfollowed in the Great Russian Exodus last week.
Yeah.
So winner number 4 of packs is Overtune 11. Overtune 11, could we please have your in-game name?
Good Game. Could you PM me your Steam name one more time, please?
Your Overtune 11 is Overtune. Is his in-game name. Congratulations, Overtune 11. And the 5th winner of packs for this broadcast is Tigorion. Tigorion, congratulations. Could we please have your in-game name? And look at that scary avatar, sir. You're one disturbed cookie.
Oh my God. Tigorian, what's your Steam name? Oh, Good Game. Thank you, sir.
It's Igor-Ion.
Alrighty. All right, so those are all followers.
Yeah, everybody's digging it.
Perfect. All right, guys. So I have those 5. Wait, I have 4. Ironic Statesman, Death, Good Game, Tigorian. Who did? Oh, Gear Checks are no. Who did I miss?
The winners were the winners have been Gear Checks Are Difficult, Good Game, Ironic Statesman, Overtune 11, and Tigorian.
Okay, so Overtune 11. I don't know your.
It's just Overtune.
Gotcha. All lowercase.
Yeah.
Okay, Overtune. All right, I got all 5 winners. So 5 packs will be coming to you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, that's the end of the giveaways, but you guys, again, the offer still stands. If you want to go here in your game, push the store button, and you have all these options here. You could buy a pack of 50, buy a pack of 10, buy a pack of 20, even buy a pack of 5. If you guys want to throw some cash to Star Crusade's way through Steam before this broadcast is over, First Officer will give you double your value.
Yeah, one once in a lifetime offer. Chess, could we look at the top screen? Who's the top player right now? I just want to see if random guy's over there.
He's not. He's down at 8.
All right. Well, 8 is he's still on the top 8. Top 8 random guy doesn't want to review Star Crusade. Well, I'm just gonna continue shaming him until he succumbs. All right, guys. But thank you all very much. I'll give you still a few more minutes if you want to go ahead and make the buy, and then just ping me here, PM me here, right on Twitch.
Is any further time available for questions? You need to get going.
Oh, questions. Yeah, let's take some questions. I think we missed a few up top. Let me see if I can find them.
You don't have to prove you bought the packs. He has the analytics.
Yeah, just write to me that you did, and that's it.
He will know you bought the packs. Yeah, just send him a message saying, hey, I want to take you up on your offer, and you'll get it.
Thanks. Thanks very much, Bernard. Yeah, gear checks are difficult. Yeah, so you just shoot me a PM that it went through. I'll check to make sure it did, and we're good to go. But yeah, questions, guys. If you have questions.
Questions, comments, things about the state of balance that you didn't hear get addressed right now. How do you feel about the meta? What would you like to see addressed that's not getting addressed? Things you thought we'd talk about that we didn't. Let's say we got maybe 10 minutes for that, and we'll let Alex get out of here at 1:30. When are foil cards going live?
Yeah, foil cards. So we're still working on the design of that. So I like those things a lot myself, but we want to make them extra nice for you guys. So so that's probably going to be March. And we'll see. I mean, definitely early March, but just all this other stuff is coming in, and we have to prioritize.
People have been asking questions this whole time we've been sitting here, and suddenly we say questions and nobody wants to know anything.
We've been pretty good. So we've been pretty good at answering as we go, and also we do these pretty often, and I try to visit people's streams every now and then and chat it up. So I think we're doing a great job. Thank you, Chess, very much for organizing this.
Going to increase the number of daily slots or increase the rewards for them?
We have 3 per day right now.
Which is 90 credits.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, we give a ton of credits away right now through raid and through missions and through wins, and people are able to, again, our free-to-play folks are able to just play and get plenty. We have no cap, effectively, on the number of wins. But we do want to expand the mission structure, so we might let you do something like you take out a bounty, where you take on an extra big mission maybe once a day. You select your missions and you do like some more complicated stuff. It kind of is in line with the weekly events that we wanted to do. which unfortunately it's all pushed back a little bit, but in March we'll come back to it. So yeah, we'll have some expanded stuff with missions and with events. Yeah, we have streams. We're going to continue doing streams in Russian and in English. Every now and then to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Also, we're going to post this video later on everywhere. So it's 2 per day. I think that might be a bug if you're seeing that. So that should be three per day. So do report that if you're seeing that.
If that's a bug, it's persisted for a very long time. If that's still going on, it was 2 per day at one point. I don't know about this week, but I think I have been getting 3 per day.
Yeah, and again, I have also, but I've heard that there's been some weird stuff. So send in those reports. We're gonna fix that as well. That's in the to-do list, on our gigantic to-do list.
Anybody else have any closing comments? Everybody's saying definitely 2 per day right now.
Yeah,
So
well, we can agree on at least 2 per day, but I can see actually on your screen there's 2 per day right now.
Well, I do think I did one yesterday, and it's the new ones haven't come up.
Yeah.
What I think is weird is that the clock for when you can pick to discard a quest is not the same clock as to when new ones come up.
That's a hilarious, weird bug. So I'll jot that down.
It's like I can discard a quest in the morning for me, but the new quests come at 4 p.m.
Awesome. Okay, I jotted that down. Thanks.
All right. Well, once again, you guys, you have 5 minutes to make purchases in the game and be rewarded double and get double value from First Officer. Very generous. Very generous. That's half off packs right now. In any quantity you want them.
All right. Well, let me try to get Julia here. I can't quite play the guitar yet, but she's much better anyway.
You can't play the guitar yet?
I can't play the main theme that I wanted to play. Here's Julia, everybody.
Hi, Julia.
Here she is. Everybody say hello to Julia. Julia, say hello.
Hello.
Thanks very much for coming. As you can see, she's very real. Всем спасибо, ребята. So, she's going to be back. Hopefully, she's actually in the top 100 now. So she's way better than me at the game. And she might be even streaming at some point later on. We'll see.
I used to play guitar on broadcast sometimes, right? I've been, chewing my fingernails, so I can't play the way I used to, but maybe we'll start playing guitar again. Maybe Alex and I will do a jam session over Skype one day for you guys.
I'm into that. Yeah, I tried to put together play that soundtrack, and it's coming together, but it's gonna take a little more work. But anyway, I'm sure Julia was better than my guitar playing. So there you have it. Okay, guys, I think that about does it. Chess, thank you very much, sir, as always, for putting this together. I appreciate it, and thanks everyone else for coming in and tuning in.
Thank you, Alex. It's been a real pleasure. If you guys watched this video on Steam, please upvote it so other people can get this information easily. And we'll look forward to doing another one of these in a few weeks when the new content comes out.
Definitely. All right, thanks, guys, very much. Remember, don't forget to PM me if you've made a purchase now or within the next 5 minutes, and we'll double up your boosters. We're not going to do this often, but I want to make sure that you're able to review the game, so please send us a review. Okay, thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Alex. Bye-bye.
Bye.